There are places, hidden places, places where the silence is thick and heavy, where time stands still, and something watches. Every culture has its ghost stories, but these aren't legends. These are real. Tonight, you'll hear 5 true encounters. 5 moments where the world slipped sideways, and something crossed over. Some left no trace, others left nightmares. Turn the lights off, put your headphones on, and listen closely, because sometimes the dead don't want to be forgotten. Story 1. The thing in the cemetery. Ethan never believed in ghosts. Not until he worked security at a landscaping depot on the edge of a forgotten Kentucky graveyard. The cemetery had no name, just iron gates warped with rust and tombstones so old their names had faded into stone. It was always quiet until October. Something changed. The fog rolled in thicker, the birds vanished, and then it appeared. On the cameras, it looked like a tall woman in white. Her dress dragged behind her like it was wet. Her head was tilted, wrong, as if her neck had been snapped. Ethan went out to investigate, flashlight in hand. Crunching through dead leaves, his beam caught movement, but there was no one there. Just one grave, open, as if freshly disturbed. He called the police. They found nothing, but the next night, she was closer. Her head slowly lifting to face the camera. No eyes, just sockets, empty and endless. Then the power went out. Ethan fled, but before he left the gate, he looked back once and saw her standing just inside the fence, watching him. He never returned, but sometimes, when fog covers that cemetery, locals say you can hear soft footsteps through the leaves. And if you look too long into the trees, you'll see someone looking back. Story 2. Room 313. Rachel, a flight attendant, had stayed in hundreds of hotels, but none stuck with her like the vintage boutique hotel in downtown Chicago she checked in past midnight. The lobby smelled of old books and perfume. The clerk handed her a key. Room 313. His hand trembled slightly. The elevator was slow, ancient. When it opened on the 3rd floor, the hallway was strangely cold. Silent. Every step echoed like it was being followed. The room felt wrong. The air was thick, the window painted shut. Rachel laid on the bed, exhausted. But then came the humming, soft, melancholy, coming from the bathroom. She crept toward the door. The mirror was fogged, though she hadn't showered. As she reached to wipe it, a man appeared behind her reflection, dressed in black, eyes to deep, grinning. But when she turned, no one was there. She ran, but the door wouldn't open. The knob wouldn't turn. Behind her, the mirror began to crack, one line at a time, from inside the glass. Something tapped. 3 slow knocks. When morning came, she fled the hotel. The front desk swore no one had checked into 313 in years. The room had been sealed. After a man died by suicide in front of the mirror, he left no note. Just 3 words scrawled into the steam. I never left. Story 3. The Whispering Farmhouse. In the woods of Pennsylvania, a family found their dream home. A farmhouse, 120 years old. Isolated, quiet to quiet. Lena, their teenage daughter, felt it first. Whispers in the walls at night, faint but growing clearer. He's watching, one voice hissed. Don't go upstairs, another whispered. Her parents dismissed it as stress, until Lena found deep scratches under her bed, claw marks, but no animal had been in the house. She stopped sleeping, her eyes darkened. One night, she followed the voices to the attic. The door opened by itself. She climbed the narrow stairs. Moonlight lit the dusty space. And in the far corner sat a child, knees to chest, skin gray, eyes black. He opened his mouth and whispered in reverse. Lena screamed. Her father came running, but the attic was empty. Days later, while repairing floorboards, he found a trapdoor. Inside, old toys, a rusted music box, and bones, tiny, human. Records showed a boy went missing from the home in 1956. The foster records were sealed. The foster father vanished. Locals say the house was cursed long before that. To this day, hikers claim they hear children giggling in the trees, and a voice saying, "Come play." Forever. Story 4. The Man on the Stairs. When Jake moved to Seattle, his apartment seemed perfect, until he noticed the stairs. The dog, Max, refused to go near them. Every night at 2:17 a.m., Max would sit by the door and growl at the stairwell. Jake laughed it off, until he started hearing footsteps, slow, deliberate, coming down the stairs. But no one ever came into view. One night, he left his phone recording. The audio was terrifying, a man whispering his name. The sound of something crawling, not walking. He showed it to his landlord, who paled. A man fell there. In 1983, she said, broke his neck. The weird thing is, his hands were raw. Like he tried to claw his way back up. Jake began seeing him at the edge of his vision. A man in a soaked suit, always ascending the stairs, but never reaching the top. One night, the lights flickered. Jake turned and there he was, standing on the top step, mouth hanging open, eyes dripping, something dark. Jake ran. He never went back. But the new tenant said something strange when she moved in. Do you know why the dog won't come inside? He just sits at the stairs and stares at nothing. Story 5. The Lady in the Yellow Dress in 2015. 3 college friends took a road trip through Mississippi. Off a back road, they found a decaying plantation house, overgrown, forgotten, but strangely intact. The front door creaked open without resistance. Inside, the air smelled of dried roses and mold. The furniture remained, a tea set on the table, a shawl on the chair. Sarah climbed the staircase and froze. At the end of the hallway stood a woman, yellow dress, blonde hair, pale skin like wax. She didn't move, just stared. When Sarah blinked, the woman vanished. But that night, the dreams came. In every dream, Sarah was in the house again, standing at the top of the stairs. The woman waited for her. But now her face was wrong, lips stitched shut, eyes wide with grief. The dreams became night terrors. She woke with bruises on her wrists, as if someone had held her down. They reviewed their photos from that day in 5 separate shots. The woman appeared, always in yellow, always closer. Until the last photo just inches behind Sarah, they learned the house belonged to Evelyn Cross. Her husband died in the war. She waited every day for his return, until the day she hung herself in that hallway. Some say she still waits. If you see her, don't speak. She can't bear to be reminded that he's never coming home. 5 stories. 5 moments when the normal world cracked. And something else stepped through. Maybe you believe. Maybe you don't, but next time the mirror fogs, or footsteps echo in your empty home, or a voice calls your name in the dark, ask yourself, are you alone? Or has something been waiting? If you've seen something you can't explain, share it in the comments below. And if you enjoy these stories, subscribe for more tales from the other side.